Prime Minister has been asked to return to the Commons to correct comments he made over the government's COVID-19 advice on care homes. Boris Johnson claimed that the government never told care homes that residents were unlikely to get the disease, despite Sir Keir Starmer reading the official guidance out to him during Prime Minister's questions.
Until the 12th of March, the government's own official advice was, and I'm quoting from it, "It remains very unlikely that people receiving care in a care home will become infected." Yesterday's ONS figures showed that at least 40% of all deaths from COVID-19 were in care homes. Does the Prime Minister accept that the government was too slow to protect people in care homes?
Prime Minister.
No, Mr. Speaker, it wasn't true that the advice said that, and actually we brought the lockdown in care homes ahead of the general lockdown, and what we've seen is a concerted action plan to tackle what has unquestionably been an appalling epidemic in care homes, and a huge exercise in testing is going on. A further £600 million I can announce today for infection control in care homes.
Well, shortly after the session, the Labour leader wrote this letter to Boris Johnson asking him to return to the Commons to correct the record. Sir Keir Starmer also urged the government to accept it had been too slow to properly protect care homes. Sky's chief political correspondent John Craig joins us now live from Westminster. And are we going to see the Prime Minister back in the House today?
Oh, I doubt it very much. Boris Johnson will no doubt claim that the Leader of the Opposition was quoting selectively. It was an uncomfortable PMQs for Mr Johnson. You'll have noticed there the nearest MP to him was Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary. We made this point last week after PMQs. One of the perils for the Prime Minister or any other minister answering questions in the House is, of course, the 2-metre rule. Now, normally you would have a front bench packed with ministers and the parliamentary private secretary behind the PM able to pass notes, a minister able to whisper in the Prime Minister's ear. I mentioned last week when David Cameron was Prime Minister, George Osborne always sat right next to him, was prompting him the whole time. But Boris Johnson hasn't got any of that. He's looked around once or twice for help almost, really. But he does appear to have been caught out. The explanation, as I've said, from Number 10 is that Sir Keir was quoting selectively. However, in this letter, which you've just shown, Jane, he says, at this time of national crisis, it's more important than ever that government ministers are accurate in the information they give. Given this, I expect you to come to the Commons at the earliest opportunity to correct the record and recognise this was official government guidance regarding care homes. And he does say, very significantly, I'm copying this letter to the Speaker of the House of Commons. Now, the Speaker is not best pleased with Mr Johnson at the moment. He has, on a number of occasions, ticked him off for, first of all, making his big announcement on TV on Sunday rather than coming to the House of Commons. And then also he ticked him off on Monday when he did come for going on too long in his statement. So what is probably going to happen is that time will lapse. If there is no statement from the PM, we may get a reply to Mr Sir Keir Starmer's letter. But if Labour feels it's not adequate, they will no doubt raise a point of order in the chamber, although the House is rising today until next Monday. And given the mood he's in and the way he feels disposed towards the PM at the moment, it may well be that the Speaker, rather than the Leader of the Opposition, orders Mr Johnson to come back. If indeed it is shown that he did mislead the House. Misleading the House, of course, is very much frowned upon and can get politicians into a lot of trouble.
John, thanks very much.